How we doing, guys? This is a big interview. With me, I have Yeager, District Manager for TownePark, and we can start by him telling us a little bit about his role within the company and what that entails.
Good morning. Again, my name is Yeager. I'm the District Manager for Miami. I oversee all of our locations in the Miami District. TownePark is a hospitality company. We are sourced out by hotels and hospitals around the country to provide them with parking and bell services, along with some other services. I oversee 14 of our assets in Miami-Dade, ranging everywhere from Coral Gables to Hialeah and out at the beach, hospitals, hotels, etc. So currently oversee just over 300 employees at those 400 locations.
Perfect. Can you tell us a little bit about your educational and your professional background?
Yeah, so education-wise, started at Barry University with looking to go into sports medicine. Was very quickly turned around from that direction. Not a lot of opportunity there, so I bounced around a couple different colleges. I never actually finished.
Really?
So I hang out here with no degree, and I'm all right with that. I wasn't a priority. So I bounced around from a few different schools. Started my professional life in the retail space. Managed a couple shoe stores. Even ran a video game store for a little while, which was
nice diversity there.
Yeah, a little out of my comfort zone. I don't play video games. I don't do anything, but it was an excellent opportunity for me to learn how to run a business. So I started with TownePark just over 8 years ago here in Miami at the Lowe's Miami Beach as a valet.
Me too.
And have just grown from there. So took on my first management role actually at this location here in Coral Gables.
Hotel Colony.
And just progressed locally through there. So ran a few of our bigger sites. And
from there on up and up. So what would you consider to be your leadership style?
Yeah, so for the most part, my leadership style is focused on, there's an emphasis on self-ownership. So each of our leaders needs to own their business.
Take responsibility.
You're running your own business to an extent. So yes, you have the backing of the corporate team to help support the financial side and everything else, but I lead through it really pushing for self-ownership of your business and managing yourself. I like to lead through teaching and coaching more than anything. I feel like if we can show people the right way to do things and how to run their business and manage their business efficiently, then we develop better leaders, and our clients feed off of that. So
I've always said you got to hire for attitudes and then you teach for skills. All right, so our next question here is, what has been your best leadership experience where you feel either you have taught a lot or you have gained a lot of information?
Yeah, so specifically with TownePark, I've had multiple leaders that I would look at as just great experiences and great teachers. And each of them in their own way have provided me insight and direction and help in their own way, but every one of them has been a little different, right? So you have some that are going to be more operationally focused, some that are going to be more administrative focused, but the one thing that they all had was their focus on people. It's got to be a selfless focus on developing your people. And so each of the leaders that I still look up to, my current leader and even my past leaders when I first started, that's really the best leadership experience I've had, is those people that selflessly take the time out of their day. Everybody's busy, right? To focus on that next guy and spend the time that they need to really help develop them, because at the end of the day, if we spend our time developing our people, our lives get easier.
Very true.
So that's really probably the best experience. There's a couple people, I won't name them, but
promoting growth from the very bottom to the very top.
Definitely.
So flip the coin on that, what would be the worst leadership experience you've had where you've said, I don't want to be like that, or I don't want to be like that?
Yeah, so I mentioned my time in the retail space, and retail is much different, right? You might be managing a location, but a lot more guardrails than what we deal with. But having a leader, specifically in my video game life, that didn't take the time to teach me and show me the way, kind of left me out on my own. So of course I was gonna struggle. I was gonna trip and fall a few times, and not having someone there to help just kind of pick you up and brush you off and show you the right direction. That was probably my least favorite experience.
Best way to phrase it.
Yeah.
So our next question is, so tell us a little bit about the organizational culture you have created within TownePark.
Yeah, so again, I think that just goes back to my leadership style. Is in my market, it truly is a focus on self-ownership. So every one of our site leaders owns their business, and that's the culture that we've built. So when I first got into this role, and even through prior leadership that I had in this area, we had a lot of our team that felt they were just on their own to an extent. So and that they were forced to do things that maybe they didn't find were effective processes or efficient. So allowing them to be free to run their business the way they want has really been. And of course, we have guidelines and guardrails to protect them and
keeping a certain standard.
But yes, so I think the biggest culture change that I've brought into this market is just that freedom that our team has.
So what do you think about the value in people development? Is that the most important thing when you're managing a business?
I don't think you can put a value on it. I think that people development needs to be held higher than really almost any KPI or any metric that you have. If people development is not at the top, and I get it, we're all here to make money.
Of course,
we have a profitability responsibility to our clients, to our shareholders, to everybody. So, but if people development isn't truly the number one thing on your list every day when you wake up, you're going to struggle. You see it every day. You can see it from different leaders that don't make that a focus, and you see the ones that do. And our most successful leaders continue to be the ones who grow and develop their people and spend the time. People want that. They want the ability to grow. They want help with that. But we doubled our market last year. So I mentioned before, we're at 14. Last year when we started the year, we were at 7. So to continue that growth, not necessarily double, working towards that. It's definitely not a short-term goal, but that's the direction that I'm looking to head, and then we'll continue from there.
That's great. I hope you do make that goal.
Me too.
Okay, so last question I have for you: any tips or pointers for young professionals in the hospitality industry?
Yeah. So this is probably my favorite question when you sent it over. Because everyone wants to know what's that thing that's going to get me over the hump. But my number one tip, I think, would be, in our business, we care about everyone else. We spend so much time focused on everybody else, whether it's our team, our clients, our customers. In this business, you can run yourself into the ground very quickly if you don't focus as much on yourself as you do on everything else. So I've seen it from young leaders. I've been through it myself. But the number one thing in the hospitality business, I think, to really help ensure that you're going to be fresh, you're going to be good to go, you're going to be able to do the things you need to do, is focusing on yourself, whether it's your health, just self-development and growth, whether it's books or we got all these fancy podcasts now, but taking that time, because it's very easy to find yourself 60 hours into a week, into a work week, going, oh my gosh, I don't have time for anything. And then you take the time to reflect, again, spend the time on yourself, understand where you can make changes that will make your life a lot easier. But that's kind of the big one, is stepping back and making sure you focus. You spend a good amount of time focusing on yourself.
Work-life balance is difficult to achieve.
It's tough, and it's incredibly difficult in this industry, but if you really make a point of doing it. I learned from a prior leader, Sundays are usually a day of rest and relaxation, but you add in some reflection in there in preparation for your upcoming week. And if you spend an hour on a Sunday afternoon preparing for your upcoming week, reflecting on what you did the prior week, maybe doing some reading, whatever it is, take yourself out of what your normal routine would be, you'll just find yourself much more refreshed as you go into your work week, much more balanced. It's just good for you.
I'll take that into consideration. All right, thank you, Wilson. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
That's the big interview.